there's another chapter in your book that talks about keeping hope alive. Can you elaborate on why you wrote that chapter?
Yeah, Keep Hope Alive was basically to let people know that whatever sins the inmate has, whether it's 20 years, 30 years, 40 years of life in prison, every inmate keeps hope alive, believing that one day that they're going to be released. And in most cases, 85% of all prisoners are released.
That's a good number, 85%.
85% of all prisoners are going to be released one day. But the reality of it is that you don't think that you're going to do 20 years or 30 years or 40 years. You believe that, okay, once I get my appeal in, they'll find an error and my conviction will be reversed.
So that's a mindset of, would you say, a lot of inmates go in there, okay, I got 10 years, and they would probably make a mistake and get out on a technicality or some sort?
Most definitely. Most prisoners believe that something's going to happen, some technicality, some error, some mistake was made by the judge, some mistake was made by the prosecutor, some mistake was made by the attorney, and that their case is going to get reversed. And so this is what keeps them going. Just keep them going from day to day, from month to month, year to year. You believe that, my case is going to get reversed.
In the hope that I'm getting out, working on it, I'm going to be back out in society.
Correct.
All right. If you could turn back the hands of time and go back to that point where a guy approaches you to make $300 a week, what would you do? If you had to do it all over, would you say yes again and hope that you did it better, wouldn't get caught? Or what would you do?
Knowing what I know now, I would have never touched that cocaine. It has been devastating to me. The harm that I've done to my children for not being a part of their life for most of their adolescence, watching them growing up, being there for them. And I know it probably took a toll on my mom too during the time that I was in there, her probably worrying about me and things of that sort, even though a lot of times I tried to make her feel that I was okay, even the times when...
Well, being a mother, she's going to always worry because she knows the environment that you're in, that it's bad.
Yeah, moms know, Mom's going to always, be there and worry about you.
And a lot of times, a lot of youth, you don't realize that when you do time or a loved one, either it's a man, woman, whatever, it's like the whole family does time with you. Because you have your woman, your wife worried about you, the kids, daddy or mommy's not there, your mother and father. It's a stressful situation.
Yeah, you put them in a burden.
It's not just yourself doing time, it's like the family.
Family is doing time with you, worrying about you. I can think back when my children would always come and visit me and say, Dad, when is you coming home? And that was the hardest time, when they would come and say that to me, because I knew how much time that I was serving, but I always thought that, my case is going to get reversed. So I would say, I'd be home in a couple of years, but year after year go by.
A couple of years go by, like when you come home, Daddy, you'd be like working on it, or a couple more years.
Try to just keep them thinking positive.
What audience are you trying to reach?
Targeted audience is for parents, teenagers, anyone that has any children that's growing up and that's having problems in their life, peer pressure, dropping out of school or thinking about dropping out of school, hanging on the street corners. My book is for all of those people. Gives them a sense of hope, not only telling the children that this is what they need to do and this is what they shouldn't do. So my book is for everybody.
Okay, that's a great audience. Everybody, young, old, anybody that's thinking about doing a crime. It's not cool.
It's not cool. That's the place you don't want to go.
You do not want to go to prison. It is not a cool place. And I don't know if a lot of youth, they think it's cool but in his trunk, sooner or later.
You know, and you bring up a valid point. A lot of teenagers think that it's cool. You know, they get some type of conviction or whatever, they assault somebody, they rob somebody or something like that. They think it's glamorous, but it's not glamorous. Nothing is cool about being locked up, you know, not being able to do the little things in life, you know.
You can't wake up when you want to wake up. You can't eat when you want to eat. You can't leave when you want to leave. I mean, you basically have somebody telling you what to do 24/7.
Stuck.
If they want to shake your cell down in the middle of the night, you got to get up and get out of there.
You know, for little children, for instance, I know back when we was growing up, going to school and stuff, you had that timeout. I don't know what they do now, but it was a time back that teachers would have you go put you in the corner. Go
Turn
sit
around, face
right.
the corner.
Go sit in the corner.
You felt like a dunce, so put a dunce hat on
Yeah.
you and go in the corner.
So just
bag.
think about being isolated in a room, cell room, maybe by yourself for 23 hours a day.
Or you could possibly be in a room with a cuckoo. Well, I shouldn't say that. Someone that is mentally unstable.
Correct.
And they might be going through whatever they're going through, and you could be like, oh my God, I hope they don't think I'm whoever, or
Yeah, and
it
you
could be a dangerous
yeah.
situation.
And it's going to be times when you're housed with a person that may be going through depression or, you know, having some very serious mental issues. You're going to be locked with that type of person, and you don't know how they're going to react if you act a certain way while you're locked in that cell room with them.
And you could also be locked up with somebody that has life.
And don't
They
give a
don't care
damn.
about themselves. They don't care about nothing.
Right.
You know, you may be getting out in a year, and they might get mad, like, I'm gonna fight with him because I'm gonna get him in trouble.
And a lot of prisoners, you have a lot of prisoners like that.
Because they don't have anything to, you know, some of them don't think that they have anything to look forward to because I got a life, I ain't never getting out. You gonna be
You're
in here
going
with
home, they're getting upset, he's going
me. As
home.
you get closer to
I
the time.
want to stop him from going home.
Yeah, I've heard people say, as soon as I was getting closer to time, that's when a lot of fights broke out. People tried to provoke you. So it's just not a good place to be, people. It's, you know, and especially the youth. You can do something more constructive than to be behind bars, because it's not cool. And Terrence, he's telling us about it. It's not cool. It's hard. But on the upside is, tell us about how you were able to get your 20-year sentence down to a reduced sentence. So.
Well, ever since I entered prison in 1992, the legislators had been talking about changing the drug laws.
Okay.
They knew that the mandatory minimum sentences were excessive. But at the time, people out in society and also the legislators didn't want to seem like they were soft on crime. They had built it up where they had made crack cocaine and cocaine to be very dangerous substance, and that it was taking an effect on a lot of people in society. And so they didn't want to seem like they were soft on crime. So they kept talking about changing the drug laws, and eventually took them 10, 15 years later, but then they changed the laws, and Governor English signed the bill into effect, and it became law. And so I had 10 and a half years in, so that made me eligible to be released from prison.
Wow. That's amazing. You were able to get out before that 20. That's a blessing. That's a blessing, definitely. What are your future personal goals? Now that you're out, written a book, what's the future like for Terrence Walker?
To get my message across to as many youth as I can and possibly change their lives so they won't get involved with illegal activities, you know, whether it's selling drugs, robbing people, you know, just any crime at all. My goal is to go around and speak to many youth, to change somebody from thinking about getting involved with illegal activities. And I have a goal too. I'm going to work on trying to get my record expunged so that hopefully I can start doing what I think I was put on this earth to do, and that's teach football or basketball. That's something that I always liked to do ever since I was in my early teens. I used to coach girls and boys basketball at Sigsbee Elementary School.
Wow.
And so that's my goal. One of my goals is hopefully that I can get a job working at one of these high schools and coaching basketball or either football.
Well, Terrence, we hope that can happen because that would be a great thing. You know, the thing is, you live, you learn, and you're growing into where you want to go with your experience and turning it into something positive. So that's the main thing. It's, going for your goals.
Yeah.
And your book, show the audience your book. The Message. Good book, good read. Why don't you tell the audience where you can purchase it at?
My book, The Message, can be purchased at Literary Life Bookstore, 758 Wealthy Street, Southeast in Grand Rapids, Michigan. It can be purchased at Barnes & Noble's, Schuler's Bookstore, Create Space online. It's Create Space, www.createspace/3549368.com or www.amazon.com.
So all of the places that Terrence talked about where the book can be purchased, we will have it at the end of the show. So if you missed it, you'll be able to get it again. Because I won't remember all those numbers. I'm going to tell you. I'm like, how many numbers? 7, 6, 5, 2, 37. So it will be at the end of the show. And people want to thank you for tuning in, Peacock Diversity. And Terrence, thank you for coming on the show and sharing your experience with us.
Thank you for having
Glad
me.
to have you. And we look forward to seeing you at some of your book signings. So we definitely will be looking for your press release. I'll be one of the first ones there if I can make it.
Yeah, that'll be coming out
I
in
want
the
my sign autographed
next
book.
month or two. I'll be having a press release telling people where I'll be having my book signing.
So once we find out where the press release, when it'll be out, and we'll have an update on the show, so you'll have an opportunity to find out. All right? Well, thank you, Terrence, once again, and thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Peacock Diversity.